Mcfarlane DC Multiverse Batman from the movie The Batman. Yeah, I know he came out several months ago. I just now got a chance to pick him up, and honestly, I'm glad I did. I, for one, really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a great movie, a great Batman story, a good detective story. I know some people don't like it. Cool, whatever. You do you. I enjoyed it, and so I'm happy to get a little bit of representation for that movie in my collection. So, what we got here, basic Mcfarlane packaging. Nothing special about it, just as we always have. There's the UPC, and on the back we've just got a picture of the figure. Again, this is not my favorite route to go. I'd love some, I don't know, art from the movie itself or something. Would have been better than this, but it's what we got, so that's what we're going to deal with. So now, let's go ahead and crack this package open and see what we've got inside. Alright, so here we have him out of the package, and first off, let's take a look at his accessories. There's not a lot here, because of course we have these two non-accessories. We've got the stand, and we've got the bio card. Got it right there, in case anybody wants to read it. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to trash it. And then, of course, we have his little hook gun thing that he had in the movie. That's not really like a Batarang gun, but, you know, it's alright. I mean, it does look like the one from the movie, from what I remember. But that's fine. You know, whatever. I probably won't pose him with this thing. Probably just leave him as is, but you do get it. So it's something, and you expect a Batman figure to at least have his little gun there. All right, so for the figure itself, looks pretty good. I may be biased. I liked the movie, and I liked the costume that he had. I liked the kind of more realistic, gritty, armored look that it had. Pretty similar to what we got with the Ben Affleck Batman. This just looks like it could be an earlier version of what that Batman had and what that suit eventually evolved into. I think it's done really well. I think the detailing on this thing is great. The lines look good. Paint is done well. Even on the gauntlets there, we've got a little bit of silver there on the gauntlets. He's got the fins there on the gauntlets as well. His hands look a little small, but that's okay. We've got nice detailing on the shoulder pads. Face sculpt looks pretty good. Not perfect. It could be better, but all in all, it does look like the actor. I mean, when you look at it, you can see that. So we've got the sculpt there on the side. The cape is what it is. It's just a basic cape. It doesn't even have any texturing or anything on it, but at least it's not a big chunk of rubber like we've gotten with some of the Mcfarlane figures. So that's okay. Of course, he's got his utility belt there. We got some straps on the legs and things that would have been nice if we had gotten it painted, but yeah, it's okay. And then, of course, we've got the boots. Now, this one does have the old school ball joint ankles, which I am not happy about whatsoever, but I understand they might not have completely gone to that design by the time they were making these figures for when the movie came out several months ago. So, you know, that could be probably what it is. As far as articulation goes, I hate when they do this. This is the one thing that bugs me about this guy, is they put the shoulder pads on the upper biceps, which I just think is ridiculous. You should just attach them to the torso, because now they kind of bind up and bunch up, and then when you turn it upside down, it looks stupid because it looks like he's trying to protect his armpits. It's just not cool. I don't like it. You know, it's the one thing. I'm not going to pose my figure in some crazy pose. He's basically just going to be standing there on the shelf, so it's going to look fine, but I really wish they would stop doing this. I've got several figures they've done this to where they've attached the shoulder pads to the upper bicep, and it turns with the bicep or with the shoulder, and it's not a good look. It's not a good design as far as I'm concerned. Everything else is the same as you would expect on a Mcfarlane figure. We've got the double jointed elbows. You know, we've got the double jointed knees. That, well, this one, there we go. He can, in fact, kick his own ass. All right. You've got the toe articulation here, which actually works too well. This one's actually very loose. I don't think that would support any weight whatsoever. This one is actually nice and tight. So your figure may vary. But as far as the hands go, he's got one open hand for some reason. I don't know. Has he got karate chop action? I don't know. And then, of course, we've got an open hand here to hold his gun. But overall, the sculpt looks really good. The paint's good. You know, it accurately represents the character from the movie. I think it's done well. I really don't have a lot of complaints. I mean, sure, it would have been nice if we had a little more paint detail on the knee pads and the straps around the boots or around the thigh there, you know, or maybe something, maybe a little extra color here on the belt. You know, those are all minor complaints, things that, you know, I'm fine without. It just would have been nice had they actually done it. And then, of course, the main thing is the ankles. Again, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of these ball joint ankles from Mcfarlane. Fortunately, this guy I'm able to get to stand up if I'm very, very careful. So I don't think he'll need a stand, but you do got to be a little bit precise when you're going to pose this guy with those ankles. All right, so let's go ahead and compare him to some other figures we've got. All right, so first up, some other Mcfarlane DC Multiverse live action figures that we've got here. On the left, we've got Batfleck from the Justice League movie, and on the right, we've got the Flash from the CW TV show of The Flash. And I think these are two great figures. I love this figure as far as the Batman, Affleck Batman goes. I love the CW live action figure. I think it's way better than the Justice League live action figure we got. This is just a better costume for Flash, but I think both of these work really, really well, just in scale and size, just an overall feel and tone with the Batman version of Batman. For a couple of other DC Multiverse Mcfarlane live action takes on characters, on the left we've got Black Adam from the Black Adam movie, and on the right we've got Wonder Woman from the Wonder Woman movie. And this guy fits in perfectly. You could absolutely see this guy fitting in a live action display. If this is the Batman you prefer, he works perfectly with these guys. So to compare Bruce Wayne, billionaire Batman vigilante, to another billionaire and another vigilante, we've got him paired up with a couple of Marvel Legends kit bashes that I've got here. On the left, we've got a kit bashed Frank Castle Punisher, and on the right, we got a kit bashed Tony Stark that I threw together. And you look, they're a little shorter. These are 6-inch scale figures. I think they work okay. You could probably make it work on a display, but I do think especially Punisher should at least be as tall as Batman. He's kind of supposed to be a pretty big guy, so I would expect him to be a little taller than he is compared to this version of Batman, but I still think you can make it work if you really wanted to. Alright, and just for the heck of it, let's compare him up to a couple of import Thors that we have here. On the left, we've got Thor from Age of Ultron by SH Figuarts, and on the right, we've got Thor from the original Avengers movie by Figma. And yeah, Thor should definitely be taller than Batman. He's a demigod and supposed to be a tall, big dude, and these just don't work well at all together in my opinion, but hey, your mileage may vary. Alright, and for a quick 7-inch scale comparison, we've got a couple of Marvel selects here. We've got Bucky Cap and we've got Winter Soldier. Now, putting aside the fact that Bucky Cap and Winter Soldier should be the same size, and Winter Soldier is clearly a little bit bigger, I think they both work really well just in standard 7-inch scale lines across the board. Whether it's with this, Mattel, some of the Masterverse stuff, whatever, 7-inch scale works with 7-inch scale, and these are definitely no different. So the only thing left to talk about is going to be the price, and for retail, Mcfarlane standard $20 figure, is it worth it? Oh, absolutely. It's a great figure for 20 bucks. Now, I have noticed that there are some places that are charging a little bit of a premium for him. Now, if you find him locally at Walmart or Target or maybe even GameStop, or if you go to one of the big box retailers and find him in stock on Amazon or Walmart.com, yeah, you're still going to get him for that 20 bucks. I have noticed his price start to creep up a little bit at some of the big box toy stores and on, you know, the aftermarket eBay, places like that. You might pay a $5, sometimes $10 premium, so it might be 25, 30 bucks. So I would definitely say try and find him at retail first. If you just absolutely can't and you really want this figure, is it worth the extra $5 to $10 depending on what shipping's going to be? I mean, if you want the figure, if like me, you're a fan and you liked the movie, and not only that, but I'm trying to put together a nice little, you know, live action DC Multiverse display, then yeah, he's absolutely worth an extra $5 or so. Hands down, I think so. If, however, you either didn't care about the movie, or you're not really a huge fan of Batman, or maybe you just have so many Batman figures already, because God knows Mcfarlane Toys has made a ton of Batman figures in the last almost 3 years, then no, I wouldn't pay a premium for this guy. He will eventually pop up somewhere for 20 bucks. You'll be able to pick him up then, or maybe not at all if you just don't care about this figure. But for me, This is definitely something I had to have. It's definitely something that fits in with the display I'm putting together. And again, for 20 bucks, absolute no-brainer. Definitely something I had to jump on. And all in all, I think most people out there, most of you guys, we're going to love it as well.